Hey, it's Bob Nagin, and in this episode of Real Retail TV, I'm going to share with you the down and dirty get it done planning process. So Happy New Year. It's 2023. 2022, with all of its craziness, is in the rearview mirror. I think things are going to be smoother, better, profitable, more fun in 23. That's what this whole episode of Real Retail TV is all about. But before I begin, I want to remind you that on January 4 at 1 o'clock Eastern, there's going to be a panel discussion between me and several members of the Platinum Mastermind Group. We are going to tap into some of the best retail minds I know, and you're going to get a lot of really, really great ideas. You'll sort of get a sneak peek into what the Platinum Mastermind Group is all about. So if you want some real inspiring information to move you into the new year, make sure you put it on your calendar for January 4, 1 o'clock Eastern. All right, let's get into planning. You know, a lot of people have not stopped, but the planning process has sort of gone by the wayside with COVID, right? I mean, the world's been topsy-turvy. Our friend Hope Bursch said she's pivoted so much in the last 3 years that she's now pirouetting, and it feels that way. And it's harder to plan when you feel like things are changing all the time. But as I mentioned just a little bit ago, I think things are going to start to stabilize. Things are going to get a lot more regular, and planning now has its place again. Dwight Eisenhower, ex-president of the United States, who was also the Supreme Commander of the Allied forces in Europe in World War II, a man who knows something about planning, managing all of those troops in a giant war, all the logistics, once famously said, "The plan is nothing, but planning is everything." And I think that that's so true. Yes, you want to have a good document. Yes, you want to have something that is your roadmap. You want to have the map. But really, the most important part of the process is thinking about what you're doing, where you're trying to go, and then actually putting the steps in place so that you increase the likelihood that you're going to get things done. And that's what the planning process is all about. Now, one of the things that I know, having been a retailer for 19 years and having done this for 20 years, is that a lot of us, I'm talking about independent retailers, let perfection get in the way of progress. We know that planning is valuable. We know that having a plan is valuable. But rather than just having something that is not quite perfect, we put off everything in the name of perfection. So the first thing is, don't let perfection get in the way of progress. And that's why this process is so beautiful. If you have the time, the inclination, the fortitude to build a really detailed plan, good for you. Go for it. I'm not discouraging you. But what I am saying is, if you're not the kind of person who builds out detailed plans, or you're not the type of person who has a couple of days to just sort of go off and do the work, this is the process for you. This is a process that will take a couple of hours. So I'm encouraging you right now, or as soon as this episode of Real Retail TV is done, to put 2 hours on the calendar, go to your favorite coffee shop, go lock yourself in the office, really lock yourself in the office, and get this work done. So when I call it down and dirty, get it done, I'm talking about there's not a lot of detail, but there's a lot of focus on what you're trying to do. And the process goes like this. The first thing you do is you look back. Then you look forward a long ways. Then you look forward to the medium, Then you look forward to the close. And you don't need to have a lot in all of these. Again, you're just trying to build a destination and the milestones along the way. So what does it look like? Let's sort of get into the nitty-gritty here. How do you do the get it done peace of mind planning process? So the first thing that you do is look back. And what do I mean by that? I mean that you want to take a look at what has happened in the last year. And you want to find the good things that you've done. Here's something I know about entrepreneurs. As entrepreneurs, there is a very natural tendency to measure ourselves against what we haven't done rather than measure ourselves against what we have done. So the very first part of this process is to get yourself in the right mental space. And you do this with an exercise called the positive focus. And every meeting of the Platinum Mastermind Group starts with the positive focus. When we did our annual planning here at Whiz Bang Training, what's the first thing we did? We did the positive focus. You sit down, you get out your calendar, you spend 10 or 15 minutes, and you look at all the stuff that you've done from the last year. And you get a piece of paper and maybe for 10 or 15 minutes, you write down all of your accomplishments from the last year. Here's what I know, because I've done the positive focus exercise. I probably do it 5, 10 times a year. 3 times a year with the Platinum Mastermind Group, once with our coaches. Anytime I do a full day strategy session with a client in the office, when we do our planning at Whiz Bang Training. So this idea of going back and saying, what did I do this last year? What I'm telling you is that when you do the positive focus exercise, it will change your state. It'll make you feel good. It'll make you feel positive. It'll make you feel accomplished. And that's what you want to have going into the planning. You don't want to feel overwhelmed and stressed out. You don't want to feel like somebody who hasn't accomplished. You want to feel empowered. You want to feel like somebody who has made it through a difficult year, who has done lots of great things despite all of the uncertainty in the last year. So that first piece, 10, 15, 20 minutes, just getting yourself in the right space with the positive focus exercise. That's step 1. Step 2 is to create a vision statement. Now, your vision statement is typically 5 to 10 years out. It's the long-term look at where you want to go. It should be far enough out that when you think about what you want to have happen, you don't think about how it's going to happen. You just want to think about what you want to have happen. Now, vision statements, just like the positive focus exercise, are incredibly important to your long-term success. Anybody who joins a Platinum Mastermind Group, what's the very first thing we ask them to do? Write a vision statement for their business and for their lives. Where do you want to be 5 years from now? If you have our program called the Master Plan Advantage, there's a whole lesson on writing vision statements. But if you don't have the Master Plan Advantage, you can go and Google Zingerman's vision statement. And it will take you to an article in Inc. magazine where Ari Weinzweig, Ari is one of the co-founders of the Zingerman family of businesses, one of my favorite business thinkers. He's been the keynote speaker at the Retail Success Summit, 3 or 4 times, talks about the value of this vision, right? That vision becomes your North Star. That vision is where you're trying to go. Now, this is an important part of the vision statement creation process. It's not just about your business. It's about your business and your life. You see, one of the things that I have learned the longer I've been in business is that your business exists to serve your life. Let me say that again. Your business exists to serve your life. And so when you discover your vision, what you truly want out of your business, it usually is very, very rich in the detail of your life. Any good vision statement, I've read a lot of vision statements, trust me, are not filled with, I want a 49% profit margin and sales of this and that. It's not about that business. It's not about your business metrics. Yes, they can be in there, but almost always the best, richest vision statements were really about time with family and friends, freedom to enjoy hobbies, time and freedom and money to travel. So there's this idea that you're building a business that serves your life. So step one is look back, positive focus. Step two is write a vision. Now you know where you're trying to go. Step three is to take that vision and to say, what do I need to do this year to get closer to my vision? And so now you have annual goals. And so I'm going to suggest to you that you pick 2, 3, maybe 4 goals for 2023. 4 at the most. But just ask yourself, if I got these 3 things done, getting those 3 things done will make a huge impact on my business, on the quality of my life, and will move me significantly closer to my vision. You see, so all you're doing is you're thinking about, what do I have to do? Don't fill in all the blanks. You can if you want, of course, but really it's like, I need to get my inventory under control. I need to have a great team that is fully trained, and I want to get e-commerce capabilities up on my website. I don't know. Those are just 3 possible examples. But what are the 3, I'm using the example of 3, but what are the 3 needle movers? What are the 4 things that will make a huge impact on your life? Again, this is down and dirty. That's what you're trying to do. Then the next step is to break that year into quarters and say, what do I need to do every quarter to get those 3 things done this year? And there it is. You're going to have a document that's probably 3 pages long. The whole thing is going to take you 2 hours. But guess what? You now have a roadmap. If you want to get from Michigan to Florida, you need to have a map. You need to take the straightest line to where you're trying to go. Sure, you can plan it out and figure out where you're going to eat dinner every night and breakfast every morning. Or you can just have the map and say, this is where I'm trying to go. This is how long it's going to take me to get there, and then go and do it. So if you're the kind of person who lets perfection get in the way of progress, I am affectionately giving you some stink eye here and saying, don't let perfection get in the way of progress. Just start. Step number 1, schedule 2 hours sometime in the new year, in the next week or 2. Step number 2, follow this process. It's down and dirty, but when it's done, it will be done, and you will have a plan. You will have a roadmap. You will dramatically increase the probability that 2023 is going to be one of your best years ever. And of course, that's what I want for you. So again, Happy New Year, everybody. Hope to see you on the 4th. I'm Bob Nagin, and we'll talk again soon.